Let's do a quick review on putting numbers in the calculator. So if you have these numbers, 30.5, 40.5, we'll do a 3, divided by 15, and divided by this 11,111 number. Let's put it in the calculator correctly. There are one of two ways you can do this. So we've got these same numbers. We need to put a parentheses on the bottom. Now, of course, your calculator probably is going to be old school. So notice that I have divided by parentheses. That's how it needs to be in the calculator for it to understand what you're trying to have it do. Otherwise, it thinks you means divided by 15 and then the whole thing times the last number. Gotta have that parentheses. There's another way that you can write it also. You don't have to use parentheses. You just use two divided by signs. Divided by and divided by. Both ways work. Pick the way that works the best for you and just be consistent in always doing it that way. Now let's review Sig Figs. This top expression is multiplying and dividing. Same rule applies. So the answer is going to have the same number of Sig Figs as the smallest number of Sig Figs in the expression. So let's see how many Sig Figs. 1, 2, 3. Notice zeros in the middle count, so do ones on the right after decimals. Let's count some more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the one that is going to tell us how many Sig Figs is the 3. This has 1 Sig Fig, so our answer needs to round to 1 Sig Fig. Now let's look at what happens with subtraction. So we're going to take our 30 and subtract out 2.1. And then we're going to get 27.9. Both of these numbers are going to the same position. They're both going to the tenths position. And when you're adding and subtracting, it has to do with the last numbers. So this number is going to round to 27.9. Now we have 4.1 minus 2.000. So these have different positions. So our answer, again, the shortest position is the tenths position again. I'll pull that down, and that shows us where to round that number. So we're going to round it to the tenth. This is another problem solved, and again, you're going to round it to the shortest position. I just happen to keep putting all of these at the tenths, but it doesn't have to be at the tenths. So that would be 90.1. So how do you handle when you have subtraction in a problem, like with delta t, and you also have multiplication division? So you don't want to round twice. You want to only round once at the very end. So what this means is you're going to have to kind of keep up with your Sig Figs. So look, I've got these in here. This has 3 Sig Figs, 3, and 2. So you're still going to put the whole number into the equation. You just make a little note to yourself how many Sig Figs it had. You know, just keep the whole number in your calculator, and that'll work out really well. For example, if I was taking this 2.100 number, and I was going to put it in and multiply it up here. So it looks like it has 5 Sig Figs the way I drew it. And there are other examples where this would be more obvious, not with ones with all the zeros after the end. But I'm just going to make a note to myself that I know that that had 2 Sig Figs. So when I'm doing all my counting, I'll know that I at least need to do 2. Of course, this problem had something with 1 Sig Fig, so that wasn't such a big deal. So hopefully that's a quick review of your calculator, multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting Sig Figs.